What do you notice?
I'm a queen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually in charge of Aurora.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about Aurora.
It's crystalline. And it has vegetation all around it. And it's protected. It is a light-filled planet. It has many, many waterfalls. And the beings are peaceful.
Mm. What do the beings look like on this planet?
They're very tall. And their skin is like a lizard.
Mm-hmm.
My eyes are very, very large. And they've got yellow flecks.
Mm-hmm. What's the shape of your eyes?
Sort of like a crocodile.
Mm-hmm.
I've got bumps on my head. Similar to the term Afro-American corns.
Hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm. The
three,
cornrows on the hair. Yeah.
yeah, there are three.
Hmm. What
And
else
my
can you?
ears are flat ears,
Mm-hmm.
narrow face, narrow, highly intelligent, highly telepathic.
Mm-hmm. What does your body look like?
Got a stumpy tail. I've got long feet, claws on the end, very, very, very strong thighs
Mm-hmm.
and shins, long and sinewy. But although we look ferocious, we're very peaceful.
You seem to be very proud of your people.
They are very family oriented and very creative.
Mm-hmm. What role do you play there with your people on Aurora?
I'm their leader.
Mm-hmm. Have you always been the
Sit in the
leader?
halls.
What is it?
I sit in the halls of justice. The Great Hall is the largest hall that we have, which would be like your High Court, your Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
But many people come to Aurora, they come to see me for they need wisdom.
What kind of wisdom do you give those that come to visit? What do you talk about with them?
Energy,
Hmm. Can you tell me about this energy?
how to hold energy, how to use energy, how to store energy, how to shape energy. If you think of clay and mold it into any shape, it's the same with energy, and energy creates form.
Hmm. What would be the
So I'm
yeah?
teaching them how
Mhm.
to create sub-planets
How do you do that?
with thought,
Mm-hmm.
with lots of practice. I teach them under the waterfall in what you would say a soccer ball or a tennis ball size first,
Mm-hmm.
and get them to form them And then they have to start adding to the form. They have to visualize different life forms, forms that are going to help that planet. So I'm teaching them how to create miniature solar systems. But it takes immense self-governance, governance of self, and patience, temperance. The ego has to be totally removed for the entire planet of that solar system. All those planets within that miniature solar system have to balance one against the other. You've got to work out the rotations, how they affect each other, what each needs. You have to look at the oxygen levels. You have to look at the type of beings that are going to inhabit those areas, whether it's going to be a watery planet, what amphibians are going to be there, how they're going to live. Do they need to eat what you term food? There's much to consider.
When one creates, manifests these worlds, is it just one being that does it, or do they have to do it together?
Well, I've got to the point where I do it with my own power. That's my speciality, is creation. As Jill in this incarnation is a very creative being with her interior design and with her writing, that has pulled to this fractal. But my abilities are supreme. And yet I do not have ego attached to it, but a love for teaching, for everything is balanced. For when I teach others balance, everybody, all the beings gain from that. For the more balance there is within, then the more balance there will be without, on the outside. For in nature and in solar systems, it's all about balance. For if one goes off its axis, everything else, it is a ripple effect.
So why is it that at this time, Jill has been woken up with the remembrance and the reminder of Aurora? What is important for her to understand now about it?
This one always forgets who she is. She has much doubt. And this fractal of Jill now is getting emotional. Even for this session, we wish to speak with you, Alba. She was once again doubting herself. And yet, this is a good thing, for we wish to keep her humble. But we wanted to show her that she is a great teacher. And we wanted to bring her back to Aurora to show her what it was and is that she is teaching in Aurora to many, many, many solar systems, because we wish for her to bring to humanity balance. Humanity has lost its balance. Its leaders are corrupt. They put themselves above their people when they should be working side by side. So the balance needs to be restored, Alba. Everything is balance. For when one is top heavy, things tip over and you lose your balance. This is not what we wish to see.
So, how is it that Jill is balancing things out on this planet?
Alba, through you and this one and this platform, you are reaching many and you are reminding many what it is about balance. You recently had COVID arrive on your planet, not so?
Yes. What was that all about?
It was time to restore the balance within. So, how many mothers and fathers have had enough time with their children, Alba?
Mm-hmm.
For are they not busy bees?
Yes.
Working. They'd lost the balance of what family is all about.
Yes.
And so COVID has arrived, and it is twofold. It is restoring the balance within families, reminding them of what is important. And it is going to reach a tipping point with your economy throughout this earth plane. And it is what is termed a giant, for it is a sleeping giant. For the people of earth, they are the giant. And the balance has gone too far the other way. And though the puppeteers are using COVID to manipulate the masses are now waking up. And they will, once again, find their balance.
Mm-hmm. What do you say to all of those people who have lost their jobs and are feeling so insecure at this time? Where's the balance there?
In order to experience what it is to have an emotional experience, for this is an emotional plane, and many will have many emotions: losing loved ones, losing jobs, losing homes. But they came here specifically for this time period to play their parts.
Mm-hmm.
And they are so embroiled in what we termed last session their meat suits.
Yes.
They forget that they are light beings having an earthly experience. But when many, many, many more start experiencing loss, whether it be financial, shelter, loved ones, this is a temporary experience.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what will forge humanity to remember what it is to be humane, to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
The great leveler is coming for all. And how will they respond, Alba?
Yeah. Tell me about this leveler. What is happening?
She's seeing it now. If one throws an incredibly large rock into a shallow pond, is there any part of that pond that will not be disturbed, or will all the water in the pond be disturbed?
Mm-hmm. Everything.
Everything. And those closest to the rock, will they experience the same turbulence at those further away from the rock?
No.
It may be a different experience, but it will be an experience nonetheless.
Mm-hmm.
There are many that are feeling an anticipation at this time, just as they did prior to COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We said to listen for the trumpet,
To listen to
and
the
we
what?
spoke
To
the
listen to
trumpet,
the trumpet. Mm-hmm.
and this one is trumpeting.
Mm-hmm.
She is speaking through us. We wish many to hear her words, for we wish to restore balance. We wish for humanity to look up the word sovereign and regain their sovereign state. Or did not one arrive here as a light particle in love from all that is? And what is one doing with one's photonic structure? There is a war going on, Alba, a war for the souls of humanity. This one put on a song just before the session this morning. She wanted to play One Love, but Bob Marley decided to let her listen to another song, and it was termed War.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be good for me to listen to the words of this song,
Yes.
but when we term the word war, how many, Alba, are at peace within themselves, or are they at war?
Mm-hmm.
For so many find so much imperfection within. And if there's a war going on internally, then the ripple effects will be external. And that is why they are what you term leaders, who are not at peace with themselves, who are not holding balance. And then the people are experiencing the ripple effect. There is much that will soon be disclosed, Alba. Then will people be steady, or will they react?
Mm-hmm. So, in your questions today, we wanted to address the powerful nature of words and how we practice those words. Can you speak of that?
We keep on speaking about words
Mm-hmm.
and the power that words hold. And the words that people use for themselves and for another or against another. And we wanted to use the word rumor.
Mm-hmm.
Rumor has it. So someone does not have a truth. Someone does not hold the truth. However, humans be the center of attention, even if it is for 5 seconds flat. But those 5 seconds can do incredible harm.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
For why one spread a rumor? So when we use the word rumor, how does it make one feel inside?
Mm-hmm.
Settled or unsettled?
Hmm.
On earth, you have what is called a dictionary, not so?
Yes, a dictionary. Mm-hmm.
Filled with words, human words.
Yes.
How about playing with that dictionary? Opening it up on any page and testing the words
Mm.
or a word and feeling how that word feels inside. Do you not on the earth plane have words that are called cuss words?
Yes.
Now, these words that are used to denigrate another shows you that the person using those words have lost their balance,
Yes.
for they no longer have control, for they have lost the art of communication and the art of communicating with themselves, for they have given their power away to another. Their battery, their generator is depleting.
Mm-hmm.
For once they cuss and give that out to another, that load, those words that they are giving to another, will the other carry those words?
Mm-hmm.
Or will they put the heavy metal shield up, bounce right back? We see many humans with cuss words are like in a kindergarten, those that give them and those that receive them. For those who have mastered themselves, do not use these words. And those masters do not take those words on board. But Alba, there are very few who have mastered this, the ability to stand with their both feet on the ground, well grounded and balanced.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result, there are many, many, many problems that arise from the misuse of words.
Mm-hmm. Words certainly make a difference. I grew up in a family that did not use any cuss words. In fact, I was very much older when I first heard one from anybody because my parents sheltered me from those words. My father always made sure that when I was with an adult that they spoke with me respectfully. And so now I am facing the same thing with my community in which on my YouTube community in which I expect the same respect of my clients. And it makes a big difference because I know that those words can hurt.
Well, this one has, for the very first time, understood the words that lowers the tone.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have you heard the words lowers the tone? Like you don't behave a certain way or you don't say something because it just lowers the tone. It's just not good enough. But what do those words actually mean? What is a tone? A tone is a vibration. A tone is something that you get out of a musical instrument.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens to that instrument if the tone is lowered? It can't play beautifully the way it was supposed to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
It is like lowering of the vibration.
Yes.
And we are all about lifting the vibration. And we would like to commend you, Alba, on being a regulator for higher vibrations. For when we look at corporations and we look at the head of the corporation, they set the tone for the rest of the corporation. If you have what is termed a bully as a head of a department, then you will find that that works throughout that department or organization. So it is all about holding the tone to a certain level. And Alba, as you regulate it, the others then will see what tone it is that you hold. If you are with humans who have great balance and mastery and respect for self, would you then lower the tone with them?
No.
You don't, because they have set what is called a standard. And then it is like attracts like for those vibrations. For those who are of a lower vibration, who have been brought up around many cuss words, many lowering of vibrations, are struggling. They need help. They need love. They need balance. They need guidance, for there is disruption within.
How do they do that? How do they get that balance when they're in a sea of, they're drowning in this low vibration?
This is when I like to speak about the word emotion. This one did a hypnosis on a client over the weekend. And this particular human had a master's degree specifically in therapy regarding people's emotions. And yet, although he holds a degree in the therapies, the emotion of people were not taught to the therapists at that level. And he was so astute that he told this one that he watched a program called My 600-Pound Life. And yes, these people get gastric bans and operations, but that is not going to fix the problem of why they had the need to fill themselves from the outside in, because they weren't dealing with the emotion. And you have school systems that teach children how to read, how to write, how to add up, teaching them about areas of your earth plane. But do they ever teach them about emotion, Alba?
No, it's really not allowed.
So, Alba, those children who are brought up by parents who know no better, who were brought up by parents who cussed, who took drugs to numb the pain, who used physical violence, and these will be passed down through the generations. And then you have a schooling system that does what you term the ABCs, but they don't do the D's and the E's, the domestic violence and the emotions. Mm. So this is a place where children can learn, okay, to express an emotion in a healthy manner. I'm sad. I'm angry. I don't want to do that. This is the reason why I don't want to do that. But, excuse me, they hold it in. The anger builds. And so you have what is termed a bully. For they have been bullied in their home environment. And now they are upset, the hurt and the anger. And so they take it out on another. And they never taught how to deal with that emotion. I need some water. It is apt that her throat is getting so affected.
Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Because this is this is the area that many need to clear. Mm-hmm. Because this this is where the emotion sits and boils and doesn't come out.
Can we focus on that emotion that's there? What is that emotion that Jill has that hasn't come out? Feel the connection with the emotion. What is that emotion?
Well, Jill, when she was young, was always taught to be quiet, to be seen and not to be heard, to be a good girl. So, if good girls can't be heard, mustn't be heard, what does then the good girl feel about herself? She then feels that she's not enough. And so the good girls get into relationships that are not suitable, but they don't speak up and they don't speak out. Because that's not being a good girl. And many young boys are taught, do not cry. Boys don't cry. Be a man. And so your words are teaching humanity to hold everything in and down and lower the tone instead of allowing expression.
Mm-hmm.
This builds over many years, and then you find human relationships, partners, lovers, friends who don't want to tell somebody something because they don't want to hurt their feelings. And there's tension, and there's resentment, and everything is governed by the by the emotion.
Mm-hmm. Let's identify that emotion that she's holding back. What is that emotion that Jill is holding down, that is trying to escape? Hone in on it.
She's literally coughing it up
Yes.
for all those who've been holding it in for so long.
Mm-hmm.
She has learnt very well how to speak up and how to speak out in a measured, balanced way without manipulation. And that is key today, the word manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
Why would one need to use a manipulation in order to get one's way?
Mm-hmm.
Manipulation is used in many ways. So many men on this human plane go to what is termed a gym to make themselves buff, and the girls walk around showing off their assets, their external assets. For many of them, have forgotten how to speak up and speak out, and they are expressing themselves through their bodies. It's a way of saying, look at me, notice me. We're not saying that you must not take pride in this meat suit, but we are saying that you can speak in a different manner.
Mm-hmm.
There are many that are not being heard, Alba.
Mm.
It's time to speak up and to speak out and to speak the truth. How many countries, Alba, do you still have on your earthly plane in the year 2020 where you deem one human to be above another, specifically of the female gender?
Hmm. I don't think there's any.
Where they've lost their power base,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
where men rule. Is this progress?
But that's a
Do you?
double-edged sword about truth, because if they have not been saying their truth for so long, those truths come out like daggers with so much emotion.
But that is because the emotion has not been taught
Mm-hmm.
as a subject, as a way of life, to philosophize about it, to hold it in. If one holds it in, how does one discuss it?
Mm-hmm.
How many families sit around a dinner table and discuss how each person's day has been, if the emotions have been met, how they are feeling, what is happening in their lives? Or do they sit in front of the blue box, disconnected from each other?
Mm-hmm. And texting.
Yes, and these little children who run and fall and hurt their knees and get brushed off and told, you're a big boy, you're a big girl, come on, everything's okay. So when they get hurt as they grow older, they dust themselves off and say, everything's okay. And then they hold it in.
Mm-hmm.
It is time for the discourse to begin. And Alba, because so many families are at discord with each other, they've lost the skills or the education of what it is to hold balance. For we would like to say today that a child has equal importance as an adult. Why would you talk down to a child just because they are smaller? Is that not abuse?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Abuse comes in many forms, not just physical.
You had told us about the word gossip, capital letters. Can you discuss that with us today?
Gossip serves no one. For we would like to ask you, Alba, if the person that you wish to gossip about was standing in front of you, would you still repeat the story?
Mm-hmm. Not at all.
Would you repeat the story?
Mm-hmm. Not unless it was a funny one.
But if it is maligning to one,
Mm-hmm.
if it is what is termed bad mouthing one,
Mm-hmm.
talking about somebody behind their back,
Yes.
another God spark,
Mm-hmm.
another light being, you're bringing the tone down about them, you're bringing the tone down about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But what you are doing is you are pushing a load onto somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
For that person did not know that before.
Mm-hmm.
And so you are placing a burden on another.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that? To another, against another, for choices of how you treat others is how you treat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people that never gossip. And as a result, nobody ever gossips about them. But how many of you, when somebody is gossiping to you about another, stand up and defend that one that is not there and say, these are not my words, these are your words.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you keep silent, are you then not compliant with that?
Yes. But it seems to me now that all of the news that we call news, in quotation marks, is gossip.
There is very little truth left in your media system. It is controlled by the few over the many. But you have the power to turn off the blue box. Mm-hmm. But Alba, many have lost the art of self-entertainment, of entertaining oneself. And so one sits in front of the blue box and goes nowhere. Mm-hmm. We say treading water. If humans wish to regain their balance, then we suggest the monitoring of the blue box for how many of those, what you term shows, are truly beneficial or uplifting.
Mm-hmm. Not too many of them, unless they're about animals.
The greatest show is within. Mm-hmm. All entertainment is within. Mm-hmm. We cannot reiterate this enough. If one does not go within, one goes without. Mm-hmm. And the energy that we wish to speak of today, the generators, the powerhouses, the stations, these human stations, how are they living? Do they wish another to govern them? And how is that working for them? They are handing their power base over daily by watching the blue box. For when they watch the blue box, they are somnambulistic. Mm. They are not awake. They are not aware. They are switched off. Their machines are on snooze mode. For if they want change, they have to make a change. Small changes within. Changing of habits. More free. Communicating with each other. Recognizing their emotions. How are they feeling? How are they acting? What makes them react? Mm-hmm. Why are they reacting? Why are they being triggered?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It is time for them to think on these, Alba.
Good. Thank you. I'd like to expand on something that Jill has been seeing in her mind or hearing is Shekinah. The word Shekinah. She was awakened with this word Shekinah. Can you tell us why she's hearing that word?
Because she is the light. She carries the light. And she holds the light for many. She is a beacon. She is a lighthouse. And Shekinah is a distributor. She is a sparkler. Her photonic structure is structured in such a way that we would like to term the word chalice. She holds the eternal flame. And through the airwaves and your platform, we wish these light encoded words to reach many. Alba, we are using her to use her words in a very simplistic manner, for we wish all to understand. She has the ability and the mind power to work on a very, very high level. For did we not say that she would be dealing with governments in the future?
Yes, you did.
Or making changes to the system for humanity. So she has that ability, she has that mind power. But what is the use of using hieroglyphics when one does not know how to decipher them?
Mm-hmm.
So we are bringing the Shekinah through her to the people as a rock in a pond for the ripples to spread far and wide, for the torch beams, the pinpoints, the sunbeams to penetrate into all the areas. For her words are light encoded through the Shekinah, and that is why you have had such a reaction to these sessions. For the people feel the resonance within, and the Shekinah is in supplication with the Ankh or the Ankh, the ancient Egyptian symbol. For did she not see in the lobby of the pension in Peru the AI, the being, the spaceship, the cog,
Yes.
and the groove? And you all needed to put your ankhs in each groove,
Yes.
your Shekinah. For that group, Alba, holds much Shekinah, much light, for they are beacons of light. They are dispersed like rays of light from the sun, solar flashes in all areas of your earth plane, holding the flame, the eternal flame. We chose this one as our mouthpiece for all the fractals that she is. For Uriel carries the light. For when she is an aurora, she is the queen of balance. And that is what we wish for this earth plane, to see the light of whom they are, Alba. Alba, one such as you has the Ankh. You have swallowed the Ankh. It has traveled through you. It has connected you deeply with this one and others in the group. For we are showing her that ancient practice of feeding the Pharaoh, the Ankhs. For when one has the Shekinah, the light aligned, then one can be a way shower.
Mm.
We do not want people to be leaders. We wish people to be a way shower.
Mm-hmm.
And if you on your earth plane have cities with streets after streets, do they not have lights
Yes.
showing the way?
Mm-hmm.
And so they are a way shower,
Mm-hmm.
for there's no danger in the light.
Mm-hmm.
Alba, we wish for all to be filled with the Ankh, the eternal flame, and the Shekinah.
Just for those who are listening who don't know what an ankh is this a physical thing or is it a symbolic thing?
It is energetic. Oh, and this one is feeling the most peculiar sensation. Something's happening all through here now.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ankh and the symbol, the energy put around that symbol,
Mm-hmm.
what stimulates the third eye and opens it to let in the direct line.
Mm-hmm.
It is aligning with all the fractals that the cell is in the total body of the all that is.
Hmm. Can one
It is
activate?
it is a key, Alba.
Uh-huh.
The Ankh is a key to unlock
Okay.
light that has been trapped, to get it to be free flowing.
Yes.
But we want to come back to the blue box.
Mm-hmm.
How does one get back to the stillness and the connection and the unlocking of the light? For all are coded with light, for all are light bodies.
Mm-hmm.
But because they forget, they get so embroiled in what you term nonsense that they're not living fully.
Yes.
They are allowing others to govern them in a nonsensical way, for they do not have way showers who are running these countries on your earth plane.
Mm-hmm.
They have leaders who put themselves above instead of working side by side with their people. And who are their people? But born just like they are.
Mm-hmm.
All are equal. The way showers are the ones that spread the light for others to see.
Mm-hmm.
It is time for keys to be unlocked. And for those who are watching today, wish for them to find a quiet spot. Close their eyes. Alba, we would like them to go to your website. On your website, you have a meditation.
Mm-hmm.
During that meditation, they will have a connection with themselves and they will start turning the key. You, Alba, are a way shower.
I guess I signed up for this, huh?
You certainly did. A wild ride.
Sure is. So when we started this today, we were on the planet Aurora with this being that was the queen. How is that influencing this mission that Jill has here as a way shower?
Jill meets with her in Aurora with others teaching balance. And currently she's working on a new solar system for when the great leveler arrives on Earth. Many will be going to their way stations.
Mm-hmm.
And then they will need to gain their balance and their perspective. And Alba, this one has just remembered something. Her father, as you know, has recently passed away.
Yes.
And you have one called Shahira,
Mm-hmm.
who does the work that you do, that does the work that this one does.
In Egypt, yes.
And in Egypt, and
Mm-hmm.
her home base.
Yes.
And her father came through one called Shahira with a message for this one. And this one and Shahira found out that her father is learning from this one.
Mm.
And Shahira and this one thought that once you pass over through your way station, that you only learn on the other side, that they don't then learn from the beings. And she then contacted her father last week and had a chat to him and asked him what he was up to. And he said he was in the waiting room, and she'd never heard this terminology about a waiting room. So he'd passed away from this earth plane through the way station to the Council of the Wise. And at the moment, he is attending classes, learning about many different things. And then he is in his waiting room to see where he will go next, where his next adventure will be, where his expansion will be, what he wishes to develop or experience. So those on earth who will no longer be here after the great leveler, we would like to thank them for the immense work that they are doing through ascension with Gaia, with this earth plane, for they have come from their star-seeded lineage to help Gaia to get back with her brothers and sisters, her grandparents, for she is a very young planet. And she needs to ascend. It is time for her graduation. And many came here for the change in many different parts. So please, earthlings with their emotions, feel the emotions, but celebrate the joy for those who will, what you term, pass away, will not be gone. Or is this one not communicating with her father?
Yes.
He has not gone. He has changed form, vibration. He is having a new dance. So those that will leave for the energy that is coming, for some it will be too much, for they have not done the work, for they have been slumbering, they have been on snooze mode in front of the blue box. They have disappeared from this life. They are living on this earth, this beautiful, beautiful earth plane, and they are not connecting with the earth. They are not grounded. They are just floating. So this one on Aurora is at the moment very busy creating a beautiful new solar system with planets that will rest and rejuvenate these fractals of souls. When they have rested, it'll be like a holiday, a vacation. They have much to look forward to. So we wish for all the relatives that are left behind to comfort them and to know that they are going to a place of peace and tranquility in order to regain their balance and align them with all that is.
For those who have not been following this and hear about this great leveling, can you explain that briefly, what that is? Because it sounds catastrophic.
How does one deal with catastrophe? One deals with catastrophe as to how one is, how one knows oneself. And that is why we repeatedly say, who are you? What do you live for? Who do you live for? You have all come for ascension. You have come for Gaia, and you have come for the galaxies and the multiverse. Who are you? You are a spark of light. You are a light being. You are a light traveler, traveling through space, time. There is no beginning. There is no end. And yet you think you are nothing but a human form. And when you are nothing but a human form, then there is catastrophe, and then there is great fear. That is why we want people to know who they are, to remove the fear.
Very good. Thank you. Would you like to explain why you brought up birthdays and Christmas?
Yes. What is a birthday? The day that you arrived on this domain is a birth, giving birth. And each year on that day is a commemoration, a remembrance, a thanksgiving, because you made that decision to be here. And yet, what do humans do? A lot of them go out, they imbibe, they become senseless, they do not connect with themselves. They buy each other gifts, many with money that they do not have, in order to say, happy birthday. But Alba, imagine if on a birthday, everybody writes a poem or a letter to the person, telling the person what they feel about the person, why they are joyful to have that person in their life. That is a true present, for it is words, and words, as we know, hold great power. Fresh flowers, take them for a walk, lean against a tree, have a picnic, connect with nature. But how many of you have received birthday presents that you do not know what to do with? that you re-gift
Mm-hmm.
or
Yes.
place somewhere on the shelf and think to yourself, wow, if that person arrives, where did I put that gift? Or it
Yes.
doesn't resonate with me.
Mm-hmm.
So humans have to rethink what a birthday really means. We just wanted to give a new way of looking at a birthday. We want to take away the consumer side of birthdays
Mm-hmm.
and honor the being.
Good. What about Christmas? Same thing?
Now, Christmas, we mentioned, and this one spoke to you briefly about it before we started this discourse today. There are many who are not what you term Christians.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be Hanukkah, it could be Eid, it could be Thanksgiving, it could be any specific day, Halloween, any specific day where a lot of attention is given.
Mm-hmm.
So Christmas Day is on the 25th of December, but it is a day like any other day. It could be the 13th of July or the 5th of January, but everybody knows Christmas. Everybody puts immense energy towards Christmas. And that is what makes it special. There is a special effort. And whatever you put your energy towards expands and grows.
Mm. Yes.
So, what we want to say is we're using Christmas Day as an example of energy, where you expend your energy. So, many of you might never get to Christmas, may take your last breath before Christmas. So, what about this given day, this hour, this minute, this moment, giving yourself the energy of Christmas every day? Bring the energy, make the effort to make it special, for it is nothing other than the output
Mm-hmm.
that creates that moment.
Wonderful. That sounds like a great plan. It's up to us to do it, though.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
you have many that suffer during Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Those who are homeless, those who are separated, those who have discord in families. There are many suicides
Mm-hmm.
over this time period. For many feel the aloneness, for the energy is out of proportion.
Yes.
And what has become a celebration, which should be about putting time away or aside for family, has become a time of consumerism.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What happens to all the paper? What happens to all the wrappings? What happens to all the ribbons? What happens to all the cards?
Mm-hmm.
What about gifting your time to those less than at Christmas?
Mm-hmm.
That may be a better proposition
Yes.
than consumerism.
Mm-hmm. I guess the way showers need to step it up.
Yes.
Very good.
Once again, it's about balance.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on today?
one, one is coughing again
Mm-hmm.
because one wants to remind many about speaking out. What is one holding in that one is too afraid to speak out about at this time? There's much that will create unsettlement ahead. But please to look at the sun and remember the light. Daily look at the sun and know that you have that power, that brightness within. Do not allow another to dim your light, to turn down your wattage. For when one does this to another, it is nothing but a reflection of what is going on in that particular human. Please to know that the humans that denigrate others are the ones that are not full inside. They actually need comforting. They need to be heard. They need to be held. The violent ones, the cussing ones, they hold great hurt, for they have not been taught about the emotion. This one, Alba, would like to speak about Mr. Right, W-R-I-G-H-T.
Yes.
The one who has a master's and mastered emotion. For if there are organizations listening today, education specifically, kindergartens, schools, universities, and corporations, this one can put them in touch with Mr. Right. He will feel the pulse of the corporation and be able to help them with the emotions. It'll be like giving them a warrant of fitness. There are many that need a warrant of fitness with the emotions at this time.
Very good. Thank you so much. What are we calling this session today?
Balance.
Beautiful. Is there anything you would like to tell others at this time?
Yes. Many who have listened to this may be holding a lowered tone through fear, for they know not who they are. Please to remember who you are. You are part of all that is. There is no separation. Should you leave this earth plane, or your family members leave this earth plane, please do not buy into the dogma of certain institutions and ancient stories that have told you about terrible places where loved may go. For we are one, we work together for the light, and in the light, let there be light within you.
Wonderful.
So it.
Thank you so much. Who are we speaking with today?
James,
James.
Jesus's brother.
Wonderful. Thank you, James, for this message today. And we look forward to hearing from the team soon. Thank you so much. Very
Thank
good.
you.
This was interesting.
Was it?
Yeah. Do you remember? Are you remembering these, or are you going in deeper now?
Not a hell of a lot, to be quite honest.
Ah,
No.
good. So you're letting go more. You
Yeah, but I
start.
was so nervous for this one. I don't know why I was so nervous.
Yeah.
That planet,
Can you
Aurora,
describe it? It was beautiful, wasn't it?
it was
Lush.
very beautiful. Very, very green. Um, but it almost looked like it had a shield around it, like a huge bubble.
Wow.
And
Interesting.
all buildings were crystalline and incredible waterfalls, just lovely, lovely waterfalls. But when I looked at myself, I don't particularly like that look.
With the
Who
rows
likes
of
yes, yes, yellow crocodile eyes.
Wow.
Crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. But you should have seen me teaching them next to the waterfall these miniature solar systems, like all the little planets and everything circulating, and like the one couldn't keep the balance, couldn't hold like the gravity or whatever in place, and the balls would drop, the whole planets would drop. So it's like mind control. It's quite funny.
I had a session yesterday in which the person told me that they had seen themselves doing something like that. And I had
Oh,
to
really?
pause for a moment and saying, didn't I just hear this? It wasn't in my session, but it was a vision or another session that they had had. And it was really strange to hear the same exact thing in this one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe they'll say the same thing, but it was a little bit different. But they were teaching them how to create, how to manifest, and it was very, very focused. Very focused.
Wow.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Alba, I think the main thing that I felt about this session was that we are in for a wild ride.
Mm, mm,
This is the tip of the iceberg,
yeah,
but not to worry about it because we all came to do a mission.
right.
We're all here for a reason,
Yeah,
and your energy doesn't die.
right. Yeah.
Just change form.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we've got to teach that. We've got to start teaching people to stop being so fearful. And
Right.
I think when they spoke about humanity, learning to be humane again and sweet, I think maybe when that great leveler
Mm-hmm.
comes, I think, the earthquake in Christchurch, New Zealand, when that happened,
Mm.
everybody clubbed together and
Yes.
started being so gorgeous with each other.
Yes.
When they remembered that's what it's all about,
Right.
giving to each other,
Yeah.
supporting and helping each
Well,
other.
so I want to say goodbye to everybody and thanks for watching. And until the next discourse, we'll see what happens next. Thanks for joining us, and make sure that you're a light. What is it? A way shower. Be a way shower yourself, and filter those words, filter those thoughts, because your thoughts create your reality. And at this time, it's pretty intense. So thanks for watching. Until the next time. Bye.
Well, bye.